What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about the Cyberpunk return fiasco that's going on right around now. This was something, obviously, we talked about yesterday in the apology from CD Projekt Red, right? And we talked about how, some of it was okay, some of it, I think, if they just took out and they just flat out didn't say, it would have been a lot better. But in that post, they talked about getting in contact with basically wherever you got the game from. So if you got the game physically, contact the store. If you got the game digitally, go to the PlayStation basically support or go to Xbox support and ask for a refund. So they aren't, demanding it. They aren't telling you a step-by-step process of what to do. But what ended up happening is people did this, and mainly PlayStation, and we'll talk about that in a second. People did this, and PlayStation outright refused. Okay, they're saying that they're not going to give the refunds for Cyberpunk. So I want to talk about all the stuff that's going on there really quickly before I get too far into it. If you guys do like this kind of stuff, make sure, as always, you guys are subscribed. Make sure you guys have the bell icon turned on. If you guys want to join our Discord server, the link for that's in the description below. And I really, by the way, do appreciate all of you guys' support on these Cyberpunk videos. It means a lot to me. I know they've been more negative. I didn't want them to be negative. I still do want to have some sort of overall impressions video or review video about my own opinion on the game, and I will do that eventually at some point. But I do want to talk about this. All right, so let me say this. I'm actually a PlayStation guy, so nobody, I think, can call me a Sony fanboy or a Sony hater, because I'm going to do both. I'm going to say that I am a big Sony guy. I have a PS5. I'm playing Cyberpunk on the PS5. At the same time, the PlayStation return policy is a joke. But everybody's known that for a while, haven't we? You can't really return things on PlayStation. You can. The rules, I believe, specifically are you couldn't have downloaded it, okay? If you download it, even if you don't play it, but if it's downloaded onto your system, you cannot return it, okay? I believe that's the rules. Now, when you play the game, or if you download it, or if you pre-order it, and like a pre-download, which is where the loophole kind of comes in that Sony's sticking people in, where it's like, well, and that people are saying, well, I didn't want to download, and Sony's like, well, you did the pre-download, so that counts. And it's like, all right, well, again, that's, you could call it scummy. I call it needs to be changed, but again, that's the way Sony has been. I'm not saying that that's a good thing, but the issue here is, and I do get it, the way CD Projekt Red talked about it was kind of as if, and now I want to go into more specifics here, but I'll gloss over it first, kind of as if there is a mutual understanding that you would be able to do this, that you would be able to return Cyberpunk 2077, because in Sony's actual user agreements, the only way you can return a game you've already downloaded or played is if the game is quote-unquote faulty. Now, what does faulty mean? There's really no definition for it by, I guess, layman's terms, or Sony hasn't really described what that means, because you could argue if you're returning it on, say, PS4, you could argue the game is faulty. The game flat out doesn't work sometimes. You know what I mean? Now, again, not everybody has those issues, and that's where that gray area comes in, is that, are you just trying to return it because maybe you're scared it'll happen? Did it actually happen to you? What exactly happened? If it's a bug, if it's like the trees in the living room of a house, it's like, is that considered faulty? I get it, because Sony probably doesn't want you returning other games that have small issues, and you can claim that, oh, well, it's faulty because it has this bug. Whatever faulty means, right? That's the issue. So that's inside of their user agreement. That's Sony's policy, and that's what Sony has been telling people when they've tried to return it. So people have been outright rejected the return for Cyberpunk 2077. Now, this is not just a bashing Sony video. This is also a bashing CD Projekt Red yet again. And again, I don't want to do it. I don't like bashing them, because I do have a lot of respect for them. But what they've done here in a lot of ways just flat out isn't right? I mean, there's really no way of defending it. I get what people are saying. I will tell you this. When I read it, and I read it out loud, I read the entire thing for the first time all together in that video yesterday. So you can go back and you can listen to me reading it, and you can see any kind of reaction I have to that apology post, okay? I read parts of it before, but I read the entire thing all at once for the first time in that video. And I will tell you, my impression of when they were talking about the returns, I think I also thought that there was something in place where you could do this. I'll say this. I didn't think too hard about it. I got to be honest. I didn't think too hard about it, because I'm not returning it. And also because, like, it makes sense. Like, okay, well, the game, it has a problem, so, like, you can obviously return it. But I will admit, like, when you read it, it does sound like they're saying, like, now they don't say it, but it sounds like they're saying, we've done stuff. We've worked behind the scenes with Sony, with Microsoft to get your return in order. Look, you can return the game in stores. Now, it's been a long time since I've even entered a GameStop. I don't know what the exact rules are now. I think, well, I don't know if it's one of those, like, guaranteed you'll love it or you can return it things. If it's not, then I don't know. Actually, can you even open the disc and play it? Because if you do that, I don't think you can return it for a full price. I think you'd have to trade it in, which means you're going to get like half the price of the game. Thing like Amazon, stuff like that, I think you could probably do it on Amazon. And in fact, I have a physical version, and I bought mine from Amazon. So I feel like it would be possible for me to return it if I wanted to. Again, I'm not going to do that. But what happened over the last day, again, basically people getting refused these refunds, CD Projekt Red issued another statement saying basically, like, hey, this is a system in place by all of them. We were simply saying go to them and get the returns, and it's up to them to figure it out. Now, again, like going back and forth. It's what I do, right? A lot of people get mad at me for it, but honestly, I'm taking a look at each side. I want to understand each side. I do understand that statement from CD Projekt Red because factually they did say in that post to go out and just contact whoever. But the way that they said it in the post was, again, it wasn't demanding, but it wasn't providing instructions, like a step-by-step thing, but it was telling you, like, hey, this is how you'll get a refund this way. This is how you get a refund that way. And again, kind of the tone of the message was like, again, if you guys don't want to give us a chance, which, remember, I talked about yesterday, was the thing I think they should have just taken right out. I don't like that. That seems very condescending, right? If you don't want to wait 2 months for a patch that we admit is going to take 2 months in the paragraph before, if you don't want to wait for that, I guess you can return it. Okay, so that's kind of how I read it, like in my voice. But they say that, but then they go on to say, like, okay, well, if you want to return it, here's the way you do it. And the thing is, and I think it caught a lot of people off guard because returning games is not an easy thing. I think that's what a lot of people were shocked at when they did the apology, if like in a good way. People were saying, okay, well, no matter what you think of the apology, no matter what you think of the game, at least they're giving us solutions to refund. I mean, you can actually refund it, which is good because, again, a lot of games don't actually do that, or you can't do it, or whatever the situation may be. Then it turns out they really did kind of. I think the issue, as always, is kind of expectations. People took the expectation, and it's not just people's fault. And CD Projekt Red, I think, could have worded it better or could have just had it come across in a different way because people took it and said, okay, there must be something in place where if I go to Microsoft, I go to Sony, and I say, hey, basically, like a code, like how people do sponsorships on YouTube, right? And they say enter code, whatever, podcast now, and you'll get whatever. Now that there's no code for podcast now. Actually, I think there is one, but we won't talk about it. So there, it's like that, where people are like, well, maybe if I go to Sony and do the refund, and I say, well, CD Projekt Red sent me, and then Sony would say, oh, okay, well, I'm glad you said that because now here's your refund. When in reality, it's, well, CD Projekt Red said to come to you to do it, and they said, well, did you download it? Yes, no refund. Did you play it? Well, yeah, no refund. But it's like the game is broken. Well, did you play it? Then no refund. So again, it's messy on all sides. I don't know how people are handling it on Xbox. I believe Microsoft has a better policy in place than Sony. And again, like Sony needs to catch up to the times with this. There's just zero doubt about it. But at the same time, I do think that they worded it weird. I do think people took it in a direction that wasn't the right direction. Again, it wasn't necessarily people's fault because of the way they worded it. They kind of did word it as this is an extraordinary, like in a negative way, this is an extraordinary circumstance that because of it, you'll be able to get a refund. And people said, okay, well, I'll go and I'll get a refund. And they're finding out that that's not the case because CD Projekt Red then announced the next day or whatever, 12, 14 hours later, hey, all we meant was go to wherever you got the game from and go through their process of it. We don't have anything special in place with them. We just told you to do it. So again, like, I get it. Every side has a point, but at the same time, it's just all so messy. It just continues to make things worse. I think that's the best way of ending it. It continues to make things worse. So let me know in the comments below, guys. What do you think? Did you try? Maybe you tried it. Let me know if you guys were part of this process. Did you try to refund the game? Were you denied? Were you approved? Let me know. Again, as always, make sure you guys are subscribed to this channel. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up. Again, if you guys want to join our Discord server, link for it is in the description below. We'd love to have you guys over there. We do have a Cyberpunk channel there where people just talk about Cyberpunk. So there is a place for people to talk about that in our Discord. Thank you guys so much for watching. More videos, hopefully daily, hopefully less negative as well. And I hope to see you guys on the next one.